Hey, old double 1/8 set Shadow here. So, we got some overall announcements from DivineZ 7, some of which I forgot to go over last time, but then again, not really forgot in the sense that there was already a lot to cover regardless. But we're going to continue with set 7 announcements and a few other things. So, the first thing I want to talk about is going back to set 4, regular set 4, and discussing some of the rares that come out of this set, because set 4 was, I would think, the pinnacle of overdress format in terms of reviving and really bringing hype into it, so much to the point that the boxes are among the most expensive to pick up secondhand, and on top of that, lots of the rares in that set still have lots of dollar valuations, like Fine Drink of Abolishment for Sins, which is an order card for Stoicheia. This one is a rare, also has a foil, but when it comes to its value, base price right now is $2.50. While we haven't seen too much volume on this card, it's been selling in between $2 and $4.20, and the market price is currently just above $3. In terms of the quantity that's available right now, most of it is around $2.50, and we have a number of copies in the $4 range on the first page as well. Many of the other rares in this set still have a lot of value in them, being like $2 to even $5 in some cases, and they have equivalent foils for the most part, so those are going to be things that you'll want to watch out for, just like with this card. All from set 4, and a lot of Stoicheia ones too. Direfieldal Darkinia, which is one of our new tournament promos, is short on listings on the market right now, to the point where I feel like this tournament pack doesn't get as much attention, and as a result, right now, the lowest listing on the non-foil is now $33 versus the foil's lowest listing at $28. Market price-wise, it's $18 to about $25, depending on whether you go for the regular or the foil, and overall, there are just not that many on the market. But that's also to be expected, given that this is the first month that this promo pack actually got released. Now the next thing I want to talk about is Almajestar support. So we are getting a new Almajestar as part of DivineZ 7, and that has sent a few cards into buyout mode. And one of the biggest ones is the promo card Plutonic Prospector, which is now at $25 for its regular promo and $22 for the foil. There's only one listing left on the foil and 2 listings left on the regular one. Normally, I would say, of course, you want to pick up the foil in this case, but this is one of those cases where, thanks to the low stock, it's kind of justifiable to even have the regular one at as high of a price as it is right now. And let me check the shipping on the foil just to be sure. Nope. I mean, at this point, if you are intending to go for Prospector, I mean, might as well just go for the foil here. But as for the regular one, this is sold in the 20s before, so it wouldn't be surprising to see it sell in the 20s again. But again, we don't know anything about the new effects of the Almajestar support, so really this is just FOMO. And if you really want to wait it out, that's fine. There is even the possibility we might see a reprint of this promo, but we don't know yet. And since we haven't seen box topper promo reprints for any DivineZ since DivineZ 2, the chances are we may not see it with DivineZ 7, given all the goodies we're already getting in it. We also have Biko Mask, which is the mask variant of Almajestar. And this one is only specific to Astroya, but we might be able to use it with the new variant. Depends on what its naming is. In any case, I also talked about this one when Mask of Hydragoom had gotten its reprint for DivineZ 6. And of all the masks, this one has the shortest amount of printings on the market, despite being from set 10. But it is still a dollar card, and we saw a lot of volume on the sale on the news of the release of the new Almajestar support. Right now, we still have a number of copies from $2 and under, but after that, it actually spikes right up to $5. So, if you are looking to try to build Mask, well, you're short on listings to pick it up from TCG players, so you might have to shop around as well. There's also the character crit promo for Sophie Bell, who is the user of Almajestar in the Wildress anime series. Currently, this critical trigger is $179, and in terms of market price, it's $188 and has 5 listings on the market. They range from $179 all the way to $350 right now. And character promos for popular characters always manage to command a good 100 plus, and depending on just how popular the characters get down the line, if Sophie Bell does make a return in the DivineZ anime for the deluxe series, that will probably send this value a little bit higher at the least. There's also Bifrons from DivineZ 2, which I've been noting you'll want to watch for this one, particularly because it's a generic, but it's also specific to Astroya support, or I should say Almajestar. And right now, it's not high, but we have been seeing an increase in value on the triple rare and the silver rare. Market pricing on both is now $9 to about $15, but the lowest listings start from $10. And we have seen a number of $6 to $7 listings on the triple rare that just seem to have been eaten up on this news. Let's take a look. They're not showing any volume for the last day, so yeah, players have been picking these up at $10 all the way to $13 for the last few days, and the news has had this sell at $10, $9 a piece. So this is moving, and available listings are still around $10.25, but they can quickly move up to $15, and this used to be a $20 to $30 card. So depending on how good the new Almajestar cards are, this could go up even higher. Now, talking a little bit about DivineZ 7 in general, there are a number of nice goodies that the set is providing, making it an even better starter set than DivineZ 1. So the first thing that it has over DivineZ 1 is the reprint of all of the effect triggers again for Critical Draw and Front. And it should be including the lyrical ones as well, given that there is a lyrical Monasterio boss unit, and they're including lyrical overall as a whole. I have to double check whether lyrical's effect triggers are considered in here, but they probably are. And with that effectively makes yet another reprint of these triggers that should keep their overall value in check. Because no matter how many reprints of these triggers we get, these triggers have been solidly staying in the dollar range, no matter which nation they're from, and no matter which variant they're from, and no matter how many reprints they get. So it is good that Bushiroad is continuing to make more copies for us, but no matter how many get made, they never seem to go back down into just chump change. The other thing is that the over triggers are getting reprinted in DivineZ 7, and they are adding the ones from Festival Collection 2024, the dark and the light over triggers, which means we will have 10 different over triggers that you can pick up with DivineZ 7. So if you were to buy a case, I would assume Bushiroad is going to make it so that there will be exactly 2 of each over trigger among the boxes of the cases, because you get 20 boxes in a case, and because there are 10 over triggers to pick from now, that's an even 2 of each over trigger if you pick up a case. So there's no extra like with Fated Clash, DivineZ 1. There will also be reprints of the Perfect Guards that you can pick up from Fated. I believe they use the Fated Clash artwork. So yet another set where you can pick up Perfect Guards, keeping these cheap. I mean, for the most part, they're cheap regardless. It's really just dependent on what players prefer which artworks. And a few of these were printed in the starter deck sets when DivineZ first came out too. So that means there are quite a few printings already, and they've been managing around the $1 or lower range. And that's it for DivineZ 7 in terms of its goodies. So going back into other singles, talking a little bit about Dimensional Robos, I wanted to cover the frame rare of Die Base from DivineZ 3. This is one of the biggest frame rares that you can pick up from that set at 15 listings and a base price of $9, and the market price is also around $9. Not as much volume in terms of sales recently, and the market price has been dropping off from a high of 13, but they're still selling between 6 to 15 between the last 3 months. And when it comes to availability, there are a good amount of copies under $10. So do keep in mind that D-Robos are getting new support with DivineZ 6, which could see this card see a bit of an increase, but I don't think that Dimensional Robos are getting a heavy amount of play, even with the new support. There's been a decrease on listings of Sword Saint of Ilduris, which is Amoretta support. Thanks to DivineZ 5, this deck has gotten new support, and there's been more of a buyout on stuff that you could get from DivineZ 2. So Ilduris is now $4 base for its triple rare with only 8 listings and a market price of just over $2.50. The silver rare is available for $5. 9 listings on that one at $3.70 for the market price, and the FFR is still under $15 for both its base listing and its current market price. So still not an expensive pickup, but it is moving up in value now that Amorta has new support to play around with. On the topic of triggers, I do want to go back over some of the Bang Dream ones. Particularly, we had the original printings from set 11, and then we had the reprints coming from DivineZ 3. And when you take a look at some of them, like Afterglow Ron's original printing is still over $11 with a market price of about $12. And the reprint that you can pick up from DivineZ 3 is significantly cheaper at $5 right now. So if you don't care to pick up the original, but you do want this artwork, the one from DivineZ 3 is the way to go. The same can be said for the reprint of the signature versions. So I don't know if there's any like zoom in difference between the cards. It's kind of hard to tell, but the signature is the same. And the foiling overall, I think, is the same too. But the difference in price is pretty drastic. The original sign from set 11 is still $120, but it hasn't sold for quite a while, so there's no market price. But there is a market price on the reprint at about $68, and the lowest listing now is about $57. And then, of course, one of the biggest ones that we got, which is Mashiro Kurata, Morphonica. This one is still $15 for its original, but it's only $3 right now for its reprint. However, the reprint only has one copy left, or one listing left. So if you do want to pick that up, that is running out. As for the signed variants, it's over $120 on the original, which also hasn't sold for quite a while, or $51 to pick up the reprint, and that one has a market price of $60. So if you're considering picking up these Bang Dream promos, definitely take a look at DivineZ 3 if you don't care to pick up the originals just for being the original, because they're much cheaper. Last thing is just going over a quick check of how many listings and where the prices are for some of the cards for DivineZ 5. And the first one I want to cover is Leal Odium, which seems to be going back up in value overall ever so slightly. The lowest listing is now $14, 12 listings overall. You can see the market price is making a rebound with the latest sales, even though volume has decreased. And we've had, you can't really go with the range here because that includes pre-order prices right now, because the high price on this one was $30. But in terms of availability, the card is now a pretty solid $13, $14 at its base. And with 12 listings left and a lot of popularity in this deck, it's moving quite a bit. Then you've got Rezael Vita, which has 14 listings overall and a base listing of $12. This one is also slightly rebounding on its market price, but overall has lower volume. And right now, the low on this one is $9.50. In terms of availability, we're looking at $12 for the low. Consolidation more so around $13 to $14, but not that many quantities among those listings. And finally, and I think this is the most surprising, is Levidress Empiro, or Empiro. In any case, the card has the lowest overall base price, and on top of that, it still has over 32 listings available. Compared to what I just showed you with Reziel and Odium, those two are in the tens of listings, but Levidress is still over 30 listings available. And in terms of how many copies are available, there's no consolidation on $10 from the looks. Okay, so there's a little bit of consolidation, but on the first page, nothing exceeds $11 right now. It's just spread across a bunch of different sellers. So overall, the popularity of Levidress is actually not as high over here, despite this deck having a lot of potential in the overall metagame. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys later.